Okay, 7th graders, I'm going to show you how to put your car together once it's done being painted. You're going to get a few things from me. You're going to get your 4 wheels, 2 rear and 2 front. You're going to get 4 washers, 2 eye screws, and 2 axles. You'll see that your axles are 2 different lengths. You have a short one and a long one. The short one is in the front and the long one is for the back. You're also going to have to grab 2 tools. You're going to have to grab this tool right here. This is called a scratch-awl, and you're going to need some sort of straight edge. What you're going to do with your straight edge is you are going to line up a straight line along the bottom of your vehicle where your straight edge touches in 2 places. Then you're going to take your scratch-awl and you are going to make an indent in the bottom side of your wood. Now, as you do this, you want to make sure you're pressing very firmly into the wood. And we're using the straight edge, so our eye screws are lined up down the length of our vehicle. These eye screws will be used to keep your CO2 Dragster on the racetrack. So I'm going to do that a little bit closer up. You can see that I've left a teeny dent in the back and in the front, and it's going to be right below my axles. I'm going to press this in a little bit harder. That is not very much in the center, but that's okay. Press this in a little bit harder. This is just going to make it easier to add in that eye screw later on, and then I'm going to do the same thing in the back. And I'm just giving this scratch-awl a little twist, and it left a really nice indent in the back at the axle and the front at the axle. Now I'm going to take my eye screws and I'm just going to start pushing and twisting them in. Because I made a really good start with my scratch-awl, my eye screw is pretty easy to get in. One in the front and one in the back. And I'm going to twist them all the way in. And as I look down my car, I'm going to make sure my eye screws line up. I want to see a hole through there. That's where we're going to send the fishing line when we race. Okay. Next thing, we can put the scratch-awl away. I have a container for those, just like this. And we can start putting our wheels on. To put your wheels on, you're going to take a short axle, a little front tire, and you're going to start that wheel. Then you're going to send the axle through the front. It might be kind of tight since you painted. Loosen it up, wiggle that axle around. You want it loose. Here's the time if you're thinking about adding graphite to add a little bit of graphite, maybe to your axle. That's going to reduce the friction. Then you're going to take your other washer, slide that on the other end, take your second wheel, and push this on. You do not want it so tight that your wheels do not spin. You want to give it a little test. There's the table, and it should spin freely. If it's not spinning freely, you have way too much friction. You're never going to have a fast race. Same thing on the other end. I'm going to take and start my axle, on my longer axle, onto that big rear wheel. Slide on one of the washers. Slide my axle through the hole, making sure it's loose. Grabbing my second washer, putting on the second washer, and then grabbing my second rear wheel and squeezing it all together, not to the point where it's too tight, but this is just about the right looseness. You don't want it too tight or your vehicle's not going to go very fast. And then give it a test, spinning it around. And again, if you want to add graphite, you're going to reduce your friction. And now my car build is all set.